I'm running for re-election as an incumbent to the City of Alameda Healthcare District Board of Directors. I presently hold this seat as the treasurer and the chairman of the Management and Finance Committee. I served a year as a community relations member and also on the Quality Control Committee. Those are the three active committees. I was also in charge as chairman of the Pension Reform Committee. And those are the service factors that I've had in place. It's been 4 years, quite a few hours. I've learned a lot. It's a serious job. And this is a very contentious type of process because there are people in the community that want to close the hospital. What happens when in the community of 70,000 people, when there isn't an acute care, emergency care center available within 5 to 10 minutes, talk to the firemen I spoke with this weekend. Ask them about response to stroke. What they can't do is deliver clotting mechanisms, for instance. Talk to them about the types of things that are necessary for wounds and different traumatic things that happen and the time that's needed to get to other places if this acute care hospital would close. Since 1925, this hospital has been open. I don't think the community would understand what to do if there wasn't a little place down the street that they could call their own hospital. So with that in mind, I've looked into the future a bit and decided to run again. Originally, I thought 4 years would be enough. I had some other things in mind. But at this juncture, it's not really up to me. I think there's a responsibility that has to be fulfilled, so I plan on coming back. My priorities for the year is, first of all, continue the initiative structures that we put into place that have been opening and are opening as we speak. The Kate Creedon Wound Care Center opened a couple weeks ago, taking care of different types of wounds with a hyperbaric chamber, which is very hard to find. We thought that was useful. We have just taken over Water's Edge, a skilled nursing home, offering those patients a higher degree of care as a composite distinct part of the hospital. The third thing that we are opening, I think, the contract begins for 2 orthopedic surgeons in spine and knee reconstruction, and both ends of the spectrum, the athletes and the older folks being cared for, would be the third initiative. Those things have to be written to their process. Thanks. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting us tonight to speak. My name's Jordan Batani, and I may be the most invisible elected official in the city of Alameda. I have served on the Healthcare District Board for 6 years, and for most of that time I've been president of the board. So when Mike was talking about the committees that he's been appointed to, I'm the person that does that. By background and training, I'm a healthcare professional, although I'm not a clinician. So I work in the healthcare industry on the technology side, and I have for about the last 30 years. So, which makes it a prenatal experience for me, as you can tell. But I volunteered to work on the board the first time there was a midterm vacancy. Someone was elected to another office, and there was an appointment process. And my motivation for doing that was that the parcel tax ballot measure was passed just after I had moved to Alameda with my family, and I was really stunned at the support that this community mobilized to tax themselves to keep this small hospital open. And I'll be very honest, it flies in the face of conventional wisdom about what happens with hospitals in the Bay Area. We are operating this really fine institution here in town. It's a small, basic, general acute care hospital, and it's one of the last freestanding independent ones in the 9 Bay Area counties. And the reason that's true is because of the people that work there and the support that the community provides for it. So my motivation at that time was, I know a lot about healthcare, and I especially know a lot about how healthcare gets paid for, because I do most of my work with insurance companies and health plans, and I thought I could bring something to the table. My priorities then and still are to balance two really important things. The first is that the hospital continues to be a high-quality, safe place for people to get care right here in Alameda. And the other half of it is, and I have to balance this and pursue it with the same amount of energy, I have to be a steward of the public resources that are used to support that hospital. And those of you who follow what happens at the hospital know that that's been a challenge the last few years. We lost a lot of money last year. And we have a budget this year, which looks like we're planning to be about $600,000 to the good at the end of the year. And that's largely a function of the new programs and services that we've been working to implement: wound care, skilled nursing, this orthopedics program. We have a bunch of additional ones in the hopper. I feel like I need to be there to bring those over the finish line. It's really important for us to deliver those things, and again, to balance those two elements: high quality, safe patient care right here, and good use of that really important contribution that the community is making every year with the parcel tax. So Judith has asked if I have heard the rumor that Kaiser is planning to take over the hospital. No, I haven't heard that rumor. And the second thing is they can't. So it's a public institution, and so taking over the hospital just isn't something that can happen without a new vote and a new ballot measure and everybody in the city weighing in on that.
My understanding is that if any changes would take place to the hospital, whether there would be a partner, whether there would be closures, partial closures, the structure seems to be to have the county weigh in on it in the form of a hearing from which different aspects would be put together and some kind of a vote would be put into place. At that point, the state would make up its mind whether or not it should close or not. The state has never done that. The county has never done that. With San Leandro and St. Rose, they still haven't done it. So with the new big Kaiser going down the street on 880, it's pretty unlikely. We would love to have them back as a partner. That may be a possibility.
So you've just seen a little, we have very few people come to our board meetings, which those people who do come often don't come again. They're boring. And there's a lot of sort of lots and lots of finance that gets discussed at all of our meetings. I think one thing another message that I'd like to deliver tonight is that it's become clear to me over the last couple of years that there are a number of folks in the district who are interested in closing the hospital. But I believe it is still the vast majority of folks in town who want the hospital to be there when they need it. And if they don't need it, they still want it to be there just in case they're going to need it. And the message I wanted to leave with everybody tonight, and I'm saying this a lot around town, is it's really important not to feel complacent about that. Because if you are complacent about it, it may very well turn out that the day you wake up and need to use the emergency room or want to bring someone to the hospital, it will no longer be there. And Mike and I both are dedicated to this effort and pushing real hard all the time. We could really use your vote. We would like to be returned to office and finish this important work that we've begun.
Yeah, it's amazing sometimes that the loudest critics are the ones with the least facts. It doesn't seem to dissuade them. And so it's incumbent upon me then to tell you that there are some facts responding to people who say that the hospital should be closed, that the emergency room is dangerous, and that in itself is irresponsible. If someone would decide not to go to the emergency room because somebody said someplace that it wasn't up to snuff, well, that's not true. Kaufman Hall, a well-respected, I guess an analyst group in California, presented a large half-day study to the County of Alameda Board of Supervisors that's public, which says that Alameda provides, at the lowest cost of 25 or 30 different hospitals in the region, the lowest cost of excellent care. So it's at a 92% San Francisco General, for those of you that like numbers, and I'm stuck with one of those mines. 94, 96, that kind of thing. But we're in the 90s. So give me some facts. Show me why. And it's dangerous, as Jordan pointed out, to let those types of things run around in the position. So the club might have do us all a favor if you decide to vote along the way Jordan and I feel, to not let these things get too far out of hand, because it could be dangerous. And I guess that's really about the last thing I wanted to say. I have a bunch of endorsers: Marie Gilmore, Rob Bonta, Alina Tam, my wife, Wilma Chan, Jim Odie, Jordan Batani, Bobby Deutsch, and some activists around the area.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. This is the same list for me.
I guess that's it. You didn't have to tell me that.